lately, when it says preparing live stream, it had already been live. So I'm going to assume that we are already live here. Let me see. Keep meeting running. Yeah, of course we're going to keep this meeting
Yeah.
running. Cancel.
I just got
So yeah,
the
we are live.
notification. So yeah, I got the notification.
All right. All right. Yeah, I always know my screen pop up and then I start hearing a whole bunch of talking in the background. All right, everybody, we are here. This is Soapbox Heroes, and today we are going to be debating and talking about the death of Nipsey Hussle. Um, Bobby has a theory that he wants to lay out, and Bobby has taken his time and he's come up with a cogent theory that he looked into and he wants to talk about. And Robert is going to listen to it and give his opinion on the validity of it, because we've heard a lot of people talking about a government conspiracy. We hear some people saying that it isn't a government conspiracy. And so either way it go, we're going to go ahead and get into it. And like I said, we waited some time before we did it, so we didn't just jump off the porch talking about it with any thought. So Bobby has put some thought into it. And if you guys jumping in here, I just left a message on Facebook letting people know we're about to go live. So hopefully you guys jump in. But go ahead and hit subscribe, hit subscribe, hit subscribe. Let some people know what we're going to do. Hey, we're going to start by letting everybody introduce themselves. Bobby, you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Hey, my name Bobby Irvin. Just on here to discuss my possible theories and motives on something that I think should be looked at further.
Okay. Robert, you want to take a second and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Rob Kelly, father, political analyst, writer, friend of the people.
Friend of the people, and not that Robert Kelly. You know.
Right. I ain't that friendly. I'm not that friendly.
This would be a different phone call.
Definitely not that friendly. Well, hey, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And the way we're gonna get started was, since Bobby was the one who have the original thought, who have the original theory, we're gonna let Bobby go ahead and lay out his theory, and then we're gonna let Robert respond from there. And so, Bobby, go ahead and lay out your theory.
All right. It really goes back longer than just like with Nip. You feel me? So that's why I want to be like R.I.P. to Nipsey, but it's really kind of bigger than Nipsey. You feel me? And I'm gonna take y'all all the way up to his death, but I gotta start back 63 years ago. You feel me? And I'm gonna need you, T, to, like, you know what I mean, cross-reference to let the people, you know what I mean, so they can, because a lot of people ain't gonna do their due diligence like the last boy. So in 1956, the J. Edgar Hoover came up with this brilliant idea to come up with a counterintelligence group that he named COINTELPRO. Now, COINTELPRO only to dissemble the powerful black movements that was going on at the time. Now, at the time, in their documents, it states it's three ways they can get rid of you if you fit the criteria of pretty much their enemy. You feel me? Like, if they got procedures and policies, these are their laws that they must follow. So if their laws and procedures, or their policies and procedures say, if you see a black individual trying to make prosperity within their community, peace within their community, doing any kind of positive acts within their community, the feds have ways of eliminating what they called a black messiah. Now, the three ways that they can do it, they showed you with Brother Malcolm X, when he told y'all they will use one of us to kill one of us so they can blame one of us. So this is letting you know that they will come up with a petty reason that one of your own will sell you out like Judas. But even though he killed you and you can blame that man cold-heartedly, he is the killer. Eric Holder killed Nipsey, but he was just a messenger who sent a message. And that's what people fail to realize. See, Malcolm X died. Martin Luther King died. Go check COINTEL profiles on their deaths and who killed them. The Nation of Islam. Martin Luther King was assassinated, but I mean, it's some sketchy things in that file that you guys can go talk about. The perfect example of the 3 ways they eliminate you, they did with the Black Panther Party. Now, remember, I told you this started in 1956. Now, in 1971, the document said the COINTELPRO is over. It no longer exists in 1971. That's after the death of Martin Luther King and the death of your civil rights movement. Well, after that comes, strong and behold, the Black Panther Party. Now, Fred Hampton was a 22-year-old black man in Chicago who was trying to uplift that community who was part of the Black Panther Party. Now, what they did to Fred Hampton, they sent an informant within his circle named William O'Neill. Now, William O'Neill never could produce no evidence of no dirt on Fred Hampton. So he ended up telling the police where Fred Hampton stayed. The police finally found where Fred Hampton stayed and killed that man, slaughtered him. Go look at the evidence and you tell me what happened. Now, another way they can get rid of you, they showed you with Huey P. Newton. This is stated in their thing. They will either kill you, put a case on you, or they will use drugs. They used drugs originally to kill Huey P. Newton. They end up killing him. Somebody ended up killing him, but he was a dope head by then. His mind was gone and his credibility was over to the community because of the crack and everything else. Everybody Ronald Reagan and them supplied within the 80s. Now, this is to eradicate the black people. Now, 80s come, the 90s come, you fast forward all that. I sat down for the last 6 years and strategically seen black activists randomly just getting murdered within their communities. Now, I'm going to pinpoint one out. Do anybody know about that South Carolina, that shooting that happened, them 9 people that got killed? See, we don't do due diligence because everybody know Nipsey, so people out here in California know what he was doing in California, so they know his activities. But these people that are getting killed throughout your country ain't just regular people. These are people that are activists that are considered black messiahs within your community that are being taken out by snitches. This dude, Eric Holder, like I say, that's too far. The South Carolina shooting was an assassination on the governor, the senator, the preacher. Go check his credentials and what he was doing in his community. Just last month, y'all ain't hearing about all the people from from Ferguson. What's been happening to them activists? 6 of them have been murdered. 2 of them burnt up in their car. One of them committed suicide supposedly and hung himself outside of his mother's house. One of them had an overdose and fell out on the back of a bus. Now, let's fast forward this. Now, these are facts that the police commissioner himself has stated, and I can show you himself. He says when he before he started his press conference, he go, "Oh, recently I just found it is blatant how they disrespect us, bro. This is what makes me upset." He go, "Recently I have found a email from Nipsey Hussle when he requested a meeting with the police on dated February 26th. He says, within this email, everything Nipsey Hussle was trying to do has met the criteria of a black messiah. Now, it has met the criteria of a black messiah. This man is reaching out to the police to eradicate gang violence in youth in the beginning of your summer at the hottest time when everybody come home from the pen and trying to ball and do. This man reaches out. Now, when he reaches out, it takes the police over a month to reach back. He admitted he reached back to Nipsey Hussle 2 days before he was murdered. I mean, I don't know about facts, but I heard a rumor that Eric Holder was released like prior, like a couple days to the murder or something. But I don't know the facts behind Eric Holder. But I know he was in police custody. He was released. These people do have a history of doing stuff like with William O'Neal, where they use informants to penetrate your circles. Now, this dude was insistent and consistent on trying to supposedly talk and chill and be around this dude. The feds put cases on people illegally. Now, all this dude have to do is just say he's a first-hand witness to anything, and that man loses his life. Now, the police chief schedules the meeting with him 2 days prior and this man has to be in LA now because this is a dire matter to this man. He want to save his people, right? So it's right on time. It's hot as hell. Look, I'm sweating. I'm you feel me? It's hot out here right now. This is the time of the year. The police chief admitted 2 things happened to him. It came out the police chief's mouth. He said 15 minutes after it happened, the chief called me and told me Nipsey Hussle has been assassinated and murdered. I said, wait, he was assassinated and murdered? So that means an assassin killed him and somebody murdered him. That's 2 things that happened at once. You slipped up, bro. Because this man murdered him behind some personal stuff, but y'all sent him behind an assassination. These aren't you might say it's coincidences, but when people don't understand coins, that's the same COINTELPRO coincidences. They will make coincidences pop up to mess up your intelligence, and they are professionals at doing that. That's why it's crazy that people don't know how to break them down. These are your worst enemies. They could plant a case on you and put you away for 150 years behind knowledge. Look at what they did to the Black Panthers behind trying to unify their community in a positive way and knowledge in a knowledgeable way, and they eradicated them. So now people are telling me, oh, Nipsey. Nipsey, cool, but this is bigger than Nipsey. Because Nipsey wasn't killed behind no regular street beef. He was murdered behind some street beef, but he was assassinated behind being what everybody should be, caring about their community. If you got dollars and you have power and you have followers, especially knuckleheads that will do whatever, and I'm telling them just to chill. We got money. We about to chill. We about to have a fun summer. Ain't no way, because you find out every gang in LA is cool. You find out who the biggest gang in the city really is. Who been doing dirt in this city for the 1930s. Ran mobs out this city. Ain't no peace in here, because they need their peace. You know how much money is made off of us? And off of our incarceration alone. What are you talking about? Ain't no such thing as peace. This economy was. And you telling me about coincidence? Now you want to hear conspiracy? This man, Nipsey Hussle, told y'all if Trump built a wall, we probably dig holes. This man came to LA. Donald Trump flew down here and then drove down to the border because a portion of the wall was complete while we're mourning this man. About to dig a hole for this man. They made promise of his word. It is sad how they just blatantly disrespect y'all, bro. And that's why I be like, y'all don't know? Because everybody know got 150 years, bro, because they're in the feds. So when knowledge like this come out, why you think niggas catch cases and be gone forever? Hey, how you doing, brother? Absolutely, my brother. My brother, we out here.
All right, Bobby. Yeah. All right, Bobby. You want to go ahead and let Robert, or go ahead. You still going? Go ahead. You got it.
Hey, let him get some footage. That's for Nip right there, though. You feel me? That's what they did to y'all boy, man. That's what they really did to him. And that shit's sad that y'all really believe this nigga told y'all he had strong enemies. And y'all believe a snitch is strong enough to orchestrate all of these coincidences? All right, bro. I'm done.
All right. Robert, go ahead. What do you think about what Bobby just said?
First of all, thanks for the history lesson, Bobby. A lot of people don't understand about COINTELPRO and what they actually did to destroy organizations that, basically that were operating under their own constitutional right to assemble and to demand change in their community. So absolutely, that's absolutely a good. I'm glad that you brought that up, because and everything you were saying right there, that had a lot of truth in it. I'm not here to necessarily be like to refute you or to take a pessimistic view or anything like that. I'm kind of just gonna stand up for neutrality here. There's two types of evidence when you're talking about anything. When you're investigating any kind of claim, there's two types of major evidence. There's circumstantial evidence, right? And then there's empirical evidence. Circumstantial evidence is evidence that does not that you can't use the circumstantial evidence to make a direct link to the claim. Okay, and empirical evidence is in your face direct evidence. Okay, what you just basically laid out right now was a lot of circumstantial evidence, but there's no direct evidence linking any kind of government misdealings to the death of Nipsey Hussle. We just, it's really, really hard to swallow his death, because he was a great guy and he did a lot of things in the community. So it's something that's hard for people to swallow. And sometimes it's just very hard for people to understand and wrap their brain around the fact that he died the same way that a lot of our young men have died, over someone being angry enough to kill one of their brothers. And it's a shame that after what he was doing and what he stood for and everything like that, that it would come down to something so senseless. And I understand that that's hard to swallow for a lot of people. But the reality is, a lot of people die for senseless things every day. A lot of people die over nothing. Anger, jealousy, ordinary hood shit, regular bullshit. And great people have died for stupid ass reasons. And unfortunately, Nipsey is one of those people that was doing great things in his community. He died on some regular bullshit. Okay? I mean, if we want to just go circumstantial here, think about it like this. If COINTELPRO, if they were, they're so sneaky and crafty and they get away with shit, why would they use one of the dumbest motherfuckers you've ever seen to do this? Why would that work? How does that work? Nothing was going on with that was consistent with a planned hit. There's no evidence at all of any kind of of planning. It's a regular hot-headed nigga did some hot-headed shit, and it sucks because he took out a guy that meant a lot. And sometimes you don't want to just wrap it up in that kind of box. Sometimes you want, and so the mind kind of looks for like, wait a minute, he was too important. It must have been an important reason that he died. It must have been something, but really without direct evidence, that doesn't matter.
Hold on, Bobby. I'm muting your sound because you got a lot of background sound. Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
I'm gonna meet with the police. That doesn't mean anything. You know how easy it is to meet with the police. The police have liaisons. I can write liaison and I can get a meeting with the police in my city. We can all do that. The NAACP even puts out instructions on how people can get meetings with the police if they so desire in their communities. They encourage people to meet with the police in their community. People do it all the time. A lot of people in the communities meet with the police all the time to talk about gang violence and things of that nature. They're not knocking those guys off. They're not killing people for that. Right. There's plenty of activists. There's a lot of people out there that are activists right now. They're not just knocking people off just for being an activist. There's no evidence that just because someone goes and leads a march. Do you know what a march really means to those rich people, bureaucrats, government leaders? Do you know what a march means to them? They're sitting outside watching you march and they're laughing because after you finish and you're mad, you let out that aggression. Guess what they do? You go back home and you go back to your regular life. The government didn't have to knock off Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle and what he was doing, he wasn't a threat to the government. But to your credit, Bobby, this is what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and I'm going to listen for direct evidence. Circumstantial evidence isn't going to do it. We should not run with circumstantial evidence to allow this to just to bubble into something where it was a conspiracy of our own government conspiring against us. Because in those other cases you brought up, Bobby, there's direct evidence of that, not just circumstantial. So what you brought up absolutely was true based on direct evidence, not just circumstantial. So now we need direct evidence that kind of goes along with the circumstantial evidence that you just laid out.
All right, here, let me let Bobby come back and say and reply to what you just said. Go ahead, Bobby, you on.
Well, I totally agree because even in the defense of Eric Holder, I can understand why anybody will feel offended if someone called them a snitch and want to kill them. But the direct evidence that you're looking for is this man is an informant. You can look online right now. You can type in Google. America is happily paid right now. They are employing informants and placing them in jails and inside of crews. And they are using 3 ways to get rid of people on the streets. But COINTELPRO say, man, we got to get rid of positive people. Like you say, there's a lot of people having marches. Nipsey wasn't having marches. Nipsey, they talk about a lot of people doing Nipsey was doing and saying things that what he said 10 years ago, he was doing. The people who just got killed last month in Ferguson, them people was actually doing stuff, not just having marches. So these people are being killed. The governor in South Carolina, this is somebody doing something. You think this white boy just randomly picked a church that the governor of the state was at a private meeting, set in for an hour, and then just kill him? Like, no, man, that nigga didn't want to kill that dude, but he was sent. That dude, Eric Holder, he was a state information from him. He didn't want to kill him. Just so you know. But he.
Wait. Hold on. What did you say, Robert?
Yeah, Bobby. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that guy in South Carolina,
no problem.
He was a state congressman. Just so you know, he's a state congressman.
Okay,
but I get it.
Congressman. That is
understand.
Absolutely. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, sir.
Oh no, you fine,
But
Bobby. Go ahead. I get you. You
that
guys are just trying to make sure you guys get given the
absolutely.
correct information, which I applaud. Go ahead, you guys.
Absolutely. Now I got another fact. He was a state congressman. That is a fact. That's somebody that can change your community. Now go ask them the impact that South Carolina has lost since that. It is election season. This dude is trying to, he was just on the news a week before he got murdered for uplifting the Crenshaw District housing development because of his story and his positive image over there. The housing development over there has risen. He was on the news a week before this happened. Well, God will rise on my face. They said no black Messiah can, in no neighborhood in America, can somebody do this as a black man. And that's why I'm saying, yes, it is a lot of circumstantial evidence. We never got no full evidence on William O'Neal and all that until they released the paperwork, the black and white. So it's hard for me to know that I sat in prison for 6 years behind a conspiracy theory. They just need circumstantial evidence to say, you know what, either cop out or we gonna prove you was guilty somehow, some way, and have you sitting in there for 150 years. Man, look, I'd rather, and that's what's so crazy is I can't present circumstantial evidence in order to present the credible evidence you're looking for, because the people you're looking for is the ones who do it. So nobody knew about COINTELPRO until after it all came out. Of course, everybody speculated, like, how are the feds, how the feds be pressing the Black Panthers family members and all this shit, and they're just doing positive things. They were pressing people, killing 17-year-olds butt naked with their hands up, shooting them type shit. Like, this is, and y'all they are strategically just slaughtering us, shooting us on camera and all this, because you don't understand the procedures and policies. We're looking at laws. We're under laws. They're under procedures and policies. So if they direct an informant to do something and he is weak enough to do it under any threat, by any means necessary, that boy went and did that mission. He was supposed to make that man fall one way or another, and he made that man fall. And of course, it is circumstantial. But hey, I'm not powerful enough to get you that other evidence. And if you need the other evidence, you're going to have to wait another 20, 30 years like when they release it always.
All right. You want to jump in, Robert?
Well, I mean, if you have to wait on direct evidence, you have to wait on it, man. But you can't take a theory that's unproven based on circumstantial evidence and run with it. And this is the reason why, because it's dangerous to the community. It's actually up to the detriment of the community when you do that type of thing.
Robert, may I ask you something?
It's to the detriment. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody.
Robert, may I ask you something?
You know? Go ahead.
With all respect, for one, I'm really not see the community. There is really no black community. We live within other people's communities. That's why I told the brother the other day, he was like about the crabs in the barrel. I'm like, bro, crabs shouldn't be in no barrel. So if you are living within a society that does not work for you and have laws and procedures and policies to make sure you can never uplift yourself, why would you even vote for that system? Why would I even say, Nipsey Hussle, y'all killed my president. Y'all killed Malcolm X. Y'all killed my president. Them Ferguson, y'all killed that congressman. Y'all killed my president. Election season is now. He could have told everybody in Cali, man, we voting for. What do you mean? It's bigger than Nip. That's why I say it's RIP Nip, but it's bigger than you, bro. This shit about us now. Y'all still out there mourning, bro. I'm out here in traffic getting back to my life at the same time, because I know so many of y'all there's so many people that are asleep because they need the actual evidence is there. This is their procedure and policies. That's black and white. In prison, bro, if you a snitch, I don't have to hear your voice. I believe the black and white. That's what we do in prison, bro. Let me see your paperwork. Hey, bro. Nah, man, I'm good. Nah, bro, where your paperwork produced that? They produced that for y'all. They told y'all if they want to know the truth, put it in a book. Put it on you and put it in front of you, bro. They tell y'all every day on the news who attacks y'all the most. The feds. So how are you telling me the feds gives a and y'all vote still? Y'all running around looking for who to vote for? Y'all don't know who to vote for?
All right. I was showing some documents from COINTELPRO. You had asked me to pull up some stuff as you were going along, so I went ahead and I was pulling up some stuff as you're going along. Robert, you got anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I was trying to understand. Oh, Geronimo Pratt. Oh, man. Geronimo Pratt. Y'all remember Tupac talking about Geronimo Pratt? Man, that's real.
All right.
All right, let's find out about it, even though then everybody was a conspiracy theorist when they was saying it. Until years later, y'all like all them crazy people that was telling y'all this shit 30 years ago is either dead or still doing them 30, 40, 50 year sentences in the feds. Y'all want to know? This is where this information really comes from people in the feds. But they got them trapped and kidnapped from y'all. And y'all only give them 2-minute phone calls. Y'all ain't even listening. Like they trying to tell y'all what's going on. The feds is employing people to commit murders. Of course they gonna tell y'all he got life in prison. Do you see him sitting in prison every day? No, you don't.
All right, here, let's let him get in, Bobby. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, I didn't quite get your question, so I couldn't really answer it, but I do have a question for you. Like, absolutely, what does the government, have to gain by the murder of Nipsey Hussle?
What do you mean, bro? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Stop talking about Nipsey. It's not about Nipsey. I just told you about everybody else.
That's the reason.
It's not the man. It's the plan. Because everybody that comes with a plan and start executing plans, look around. Them motherfuckers get gunned down. But the people that talk about shit, oh, you can live. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, y'all can live. But ultimately, the ones that, like you say, oh, he was out there. Nipsey wasn't marching, bro. I never seen Nipsey march. You feel me? But I do know he used to be on that corner and shit, and like, you feel me? He was doing other things, bro. And that's why I be like, man, that shit's crazy because I don't believe in coins. You feel me? Shiny things to distract you. Coincidences and shiny things. That's just a coincidence. That's what the English language is. It's crazy because y'all speak English language, y'all don't realize y'all speaking like that's not your language. So that language is so tricky to y'all. Y'all don't even realize a coincidence is really the truth that you just don't see. Like, it's too many coincidences. But you know what? You either believe in coincidence or you believe in conspiracy when you can't prove something.
All right. Here, let's let him get in for a second, Bobby. I think you did a great job of laying out the things that you're saying. Let's let Robert. And if you guys want to ask each other questions and ask each other some direct questions, go ahead, and we probably going to wrap it up if everybody got everything out in the cogent manner that you wish to do. And if you guys are watching, go ahead and subscribe. This is Soapbox Heroes. We're doing it now on YouTube. Victoria. Oh, thank you, Victoria. Victoria came over and watched. A. Smith. I'm going to read some of these comments too here in a second. Salik, what's going on? Go ahead, Robert.
Salik.
Okay. So basically, what I want to do, because again, when you have this type of circumstantial evidence that comes in front, there's really no way to deal with it. So that's fine. I mean, if you take what Bobby says and you want to try to make the connection yourself, really, no one can stop you. But I want to go ahead and just do a public service announcement to my folks, anybody that will watch this. We have to understand how to evaluate claims for truth. We need to understand and have a system, and it's up to each individual to understand and you use their critical thinking skills when you're with anything. Okay, the reason that we as a people are the most duped group of people, we're the most swindled, we got the most charlatans among us, we got people hustling us, we got government officials taking us for a ride. We got political parties taking us for a ride. The reason being is because we are not very likely to take information and process it correctly, or to scrub it for truth correctly. And what happens as a result is we become we're vulnerable as a people. We are the prey. We're always hunted upon because even by our own people, especially by our own people, because there are people amongst us that understand that Black people don't use critical thinking skills to the extent that they should, and don't have or never created a system or adopted a system for evaluating claims for truth. And because of that, we have been victimized. So just to continue, whether you believe something or not, that's not what's important. What's important is how are you thinking about things before you choose to believe them or not. And that's what I want to focus on. Make sure that you're thinking about your thinking. Think about evidence and how you process that evidence. You know, read books, use critical thinking, develop critical thinking, take a class, read philosophers and read the writings of great men and women and strengthen your mind, because we have to do that as a community if we're going to change some of the things that we want to change and we want to be different about this community. So that's the most important thing to me. That's my moment.
All right, Bobby, you got something you want to say? Something left?
Absolutely, man. Robert Kelly, man, I agreed with you. I appreciate you letting me, you know what I mean, get my feelings and my emotions out there about the situation, and you kind of opening my eyes about some other things. Like I say, I've been calling the man senator. I'd rather be done for 5 minutes in a lifetime, you feel me? So I appreciate you giving me some knowledge. You understand? So the congressman and the
South Carolina congressman. All right, hold on. Don't go too fast. Look, Mr. Banks says Al Sharpton is an FBI informant. How you doing, Mr. Banks? Glad you came and sat down with us for a minute. Lisa Moore.
MLK.
Lisa Moore says you don't need direct evidence to make a speculation. Thanks for watching, Lisa.
Absolutely.
Right. But that's what it is. It's speculation. So once you speculation means it absolutely, look up the word speculation, and there is no such thing as fact. There is no facts in speculation. Then you look at, if you go to a court of law, you bring up something speculatory, they will object. You can't even admit it into evidence. It doesn't make a difference. Speculation don't mean nothing. I could speculate that there's $1 million underneath that trash dumpster over there, and it wouldn't mean a goddamn thing.
But see, Robert, Mr. Kelly, this the difference that I was trying to make, is saying we as a people, if you once realize their policies and procedures, how can you ever go to them with peace, or how can you ever ask them anything? So that's why I'm saying, like, how did you even expect, whether it's a Black president, white president, a president you want in there or not, they have policies and procedures to follow. So that, therefore, in itself needs separation, needs recreation, because if COINTELPRO, if that is true, if all these speculations is true or have any ounce of merit of truth, it's like, man, we need a full investigation, because I need to rethink where I'm living. Like, if I'm living in a country that's telling me my people will never rise, and that's why they give us the crabs in a barrel term. Like, why am I a crab in a barrel? I'm supposed to be in an ocean.
All right.
As a people, I want to say, man, I love y'all.
We love you too. Hold on. A. Smith says he got points, but in California, Nipsey Hussle's career was ran by Big U. He plotted and planned all of Nipsey's activist movements. Shaking my head. Do your research, people. Nip wanted to take control of what he was doing. Ace also says Nip did more goodness on his own, so he wasn't a puppet for Big U's vision. Shaking my head. Johnny.
I don't know nothing about no big U and none of that, but I do know how these devils work, man. And Boosie told y'all, man, get these devils up and off me, man. Y'all seen what happened to him, man. Like, niggas be real niggas, but at the same time, they be sicky niggas on you. Y'all see 21 Savage? Y'all see? Let me ask y'all something about this, man. Do you not know they got this thing called the hip hop police? That police are rappers. And then next thing you know, you get this dude named 6ix9ine who is a Puerto Rican gangbanger blood in New York who get all these black men indicted in the feds and he goes home. And you got people like T-Pain talking about where they fuck this baby mama. Like, bro, they is sick how they be infiltrating, bro.
Bobby.
This man supplied the gang with everything. He is the money.
Johnny Youngblood says you guys are dragging this on and you should just make it as simple as possible. Johnny, give us some details how they can make it simpler. Let us know. Victoria McKay says this dude sounds as if he has no clue of what he is talking about. I don't know which dude, but I want to thank everybody for watching. Salik says you only speculate when you don't have full knowledge of a case. So what leads to speculation is an investigation. Come on, Robert, don't be dumb.
Absolutely. Well, it's not about. Look, there's an investigation is necessary, and that's what's up. But until that investigation has been done and finished, it's stupid to speculate. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't make a conclusion and then try to find evidence to fit your conclusion. You find the evidence and then you make your conclusion based on the evidence. That's how you do. That's how it goes.
All right.
Well, sometimes when they have like let's say a murdered wife, they look for motives and usually they look at the husband first. So that's how I am. Like when I see a positive person, I don't just look at the situation for what is being told, especially immediately by the police and the media, who we know disrespect us all the time. So I look for the motive, and then I look for a pattern that these people do. That's what I look for myself.
All right, and hold on. Oh, and the Some More Of It show says ain't nothing simple about this. And hey, you guys, go check out the Some More Of It show. It comes on Dash Radio on Fridays. You probably need to download the Dash app and make sure you guys tune into that. They have it going every Friday with the different hip hop. They do interviews and everything. Thanks for watching the And Some More Of It show. I appreciate the support. Let's see. Mr. Banks says the shooter is also a FBI informant. He also says, not a coincidence, the defense attorney he got and who paid for him.
That's speculation. See, I don't want to really speculate on that because now, man, because I could get deep with them, bro. I can get deep with them. That's a whole nother show. Because I could tell you how they done messed up everybody. But
there's a lot better attorneys in Los Angeles than Chris Gordon. And we know this.
And he been taking pro bonos anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it goes a little deeper. It goes a little deeper. I could touch on that, but I'm a conspiracy theorist there.
All right.
I admit to that one.
All right. Well, here, let's do it like this. Bobby, you got the first words. You got to lay out your facts. The facts that you wanted to bring forward. You got to lay out what you thought. We're going to go ahead and let Robert give the last word. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I thank you guys for doing it in a respectful manner. Hey, you guys both said a lot of good things. So go ahead, Robert. And wait, before you guys go, Bobby, let people know where they can find you.
Oh, man, look, I do not disclose locations, right? You feel me? Hey, tell them Bobby Irvin, man, or on Facebook, or you can go B.3RVIN on Instagram. Holla at me.
All right, Bobby. Robert, give us where they can find you, and then go ahead and give us your final thought since Bobby started off first.
Okay, Robert Kelly on Facebook, www.facebook.com/talkiswild. And then be on the lookout, you guys, for me on the Best Case Scenario podcast coming soon, starting in June. Now, basically, there's one thing that I want to say that we don't. The reason that the way we can cut down on some of the speculation when stuff like this happens, the way we can cut down on it is not only just having a great way of looking at evidence, but also supporting Black media, supporting independent Black media, because a lot of times the things that we're getting out of the media we can't trust because the people in the media and a lot of these media outlets are bought and paid for. But when you support podcasts like Soapbox Heroes and other Black media outlets, what you're doing is you're giving us a voice, and also giving supporting those people encourages us in order to do better investigation, in order to analyze these things more often, to give them give Black media the resources to kind of come behind what these major media outlets are doing and fact check them and hold them accountable and be a watchdog for the people in this community. Not just on a media level, but where we can actually, give you guys the facts of what's going on in your government, the facts of what's going on in your world, and help you guys to understand what's going on instead of us just being basically fed whatever the major media outlets want to feed us. So I do thank Tyrone for what he does, and I'm looking forward to seeing him doing a lot more. And make sure you're subscribing to his Facebook channel. Make sure you're hitting the like on every video, and that way, and just any way that you can support that he wants as far as you supporting. Just make sure you're becoming a real support to that and any Black media outlets, because Black media outlets are going to be the way that Black people receive their information in the future. It's already a wave, but it's got to get bigger, and we need more people. And if you're interested in doing Black media, link up with people that are interested in Black media. Link up with people like Tyrone Irvin and grow and prosper in that, because this is what's going to help destroy the spread of misinformation and also keep our people well informed as well.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. And yeah, I don't have nothing else to say. You guys do what Robert said. Hit that subscribe, like. If you guys something you guys want to come on and talk about and discuss, we are always glad to have you on Soapbox Heroes. Soapbox Heroes, the reason for it is so you can see different people's perspectives and way of thinking. You will never be surprised that somebody don't think the same way as you, and you'll already have some insight if you watch Soapbox Heroes. We do it every week. We normally do it Wednesdays at 8 Central. We've been doing it on Facebook. Now we're moving over here to YouTube. Robert, Bobby, I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys. Hey, both of you guys made some really, really good points. So this was Soapbox Heroes. We get at you.
All right.